Yo, what's going on, man? Today is October the 20th. Welcome into the ChrisBeCappinn Show. We'll go through, on today's episode, we'll go through the WNBA game. I did do a standalone video last night, and I'll get into three best bets for the NFL Week 7, as well as New England and Jacksonville are already playing in London. So, let's just jump right into it, man. I'll do a quick recap. WNBA has been treating me really, really well, the playoffs specifically, and if the New York Liberty can pull out a win today, it'd treat me a whole lot better as well. They can finish out tonight. Game starts at 8 o'clock on ESPN. So we got Minnesota first quarter from the game 4. That was a winner. Talked about that one in the standalone video, sent it out to the members, +1, plus half a point. And that was a winner. So 18-9 plus 6 and almost 7 units on the WNBA playoffs. And looking to build off that. Also have identified my favorite player prop in opening night WNBA, NBA. Always say W. NBA. Got a prop that I'm gonna send out today to the members. Something that I really, really like a lot. I think it's gonna cash based on the digging that I've done so far. So definitely. It's a good time to tap in, become a member of the channel. Even if you don't, I'll send the plays out. Like I always do, but you probably will get a worse line, and the membership I think is like $3-4 a month. So that's that. NBA previews, of course, are done. Definitely check these out if you guys are interested. Lot of hard work going into these previews. All 30 teams completed. Definitely check these out if you feel intrigued, as we have just a couple days before the NBA season actually takes off. Go through a couple of the comments real quick, and then we'll jump into the WNBA. What's up, Tasha? She says, greetings, everyone. G421 says, yo, been a minute. What up, G421? Hopefully all is well with you, bro. Appreciate you for tapping in. Dylan says, good morning, Chris and chat. Let's cash out today. Derek likes the Jaguars on the money line. Jaguars look terrible, man. Maybe they'll get it together, but the way I see Drake May just go down the field just now, a dump off to the running back on a 3rd and 10. Boy, they look terrible, man. But we'll see how it goes. I didn't bet the game. Not something that I wanted to have to sweat out between two terrible teams in London at 11 o'clock, 12 o'clock on the Eastern Standard Time. Timeout Sports says, go Lynx. I'm on the opposite side, man. I need the Lynx to get smoked today. We'll jump into it in just a second. What's up, Justin? Appreciate you for tapping in as always. Bro, Derek says, I've been riding all year with the Minnesota Lynx. So let's go get the WNBA championship tonight. Timeout Sports says Peterson needs to be fired. He probably will be. I don't think he'll be the coach of the Jacksonville Jaguars next season. A lot of Lynx love in here. I see it. G421 says, not gonna lie, Chris, had to fade you on the WNBA game. Had the Lynx money line -2.5. If you fade, I didn't take the full game. G421. If you're talking about the last one. I cashed the only bet that I placed, and that was Minnesota. I was on Minnesota first quarter. I didn't. You didn't fade me there. Brent says, found you from Cal Show. Glad to watch live. Let's get it. Hit a 10-1 on your pick same game parlay in game 4. I'm glad you cashed it, Brent. I'm glad to hear that. So Cal reached out to me on Friday and said, yo, Chris, can you come on the show? And I was like, unfortunately, I can't. I think that's the first time. And me and Cal have been working together since the beginning, I think like the middle of NBA season last season. And I've done all the WNBA shows for him whenever I can, NFL shows, whatever Cal need me to do. I'm always trying to talk sports. But that was the only time I had to tell Cal, no, I had something already planned. But I told him, I said, Cal, tell the audience to take Minnesota first quarter. It's a desperation spot. They'll win the game. And I didn't get a chance to go back and look at Cal's show, but hopefully he said, okay, got it. I said, not gonna lie. I said, not going to be able to make it today. Tell the people, I said, to take Minnesota first quarter, max motivation spot. He said, okay, got it. So I don't know if he shared it or not. This was at 3:15. His show starts at 4. So hopefully he sent that out because that was a winner as well. Derek says, no, Pat's on the money line. He ain't messing around with Jacksonville. I can see it, man. It's going to be a dogfight of a game. I did lean towards taking the points with Jacksonville. Towards taking the points with the Patriots. No way I'm laying anything with Jacksonville, but it's a terrible, ugly spot. What up, Bitsy? Justin agrees. Says Peterson won't be the coach next week when they lose today. Yeah, he's gonna get up out there. Tasha says she's on Kansas City and still is money line. Not fading the two dogs, like in the two dogs today, Tasha. Okay. Mitchell says he didn't tell us. Oh man, poor shame on Cal. Shame on Cal for not passing on the winners. Bitsy likes Drake May over 2.5 passing yards, 200.5 passing yards right now. Says hope the cash then on the Bills over their 31 and 30.5 team total rush attempts later. Okay. And I agree with this, Tosh. It says Kansas City defense been shutting down the running backs. They are elite. I think they're number 4 against the run, which I got a player prop for the run. Let's jump into the plays for today, man. I appreciate everybody for tapping in. Hit the like button for me as you join. It's always helpful. Love going through the comments with you guys as well. Let's talk about this Minnesota Lynx and the New York Liberty game. So, of course, Liberty, they lose game 4 in Minnesota, a chance to kind of put the Lynx out of their misery. The Lynx are not going to go away, as we kind of all knew. And that's what we saw in the last game. This Lynx team, came to play. They barely ended up getting there too. And I think that's what gives me the most confidence in liking the Liberty today. I didn't play the +5.5. The -5.5. I'm not going to, because as you guys know, I've talked about this, especially if you've been a member of the show for, a member of the community, you've watched the show for a while. I put the the New York Liberty bet in game 2 of the second round when they were playing against the Aces. So I just need the Liberty to win the game, which is why even in the standalone video last night, I didn't talk about the spread. If I had to, it's difficult. I do think but I probably would take the Liberty -5.5 as well. If you like the Lynx, I don't think you take the points. I think you take the money line. You can get the Lynx money line at +225. I think that's the play that you ultimately want to play. If you like the Minnesota Lynx, I would just stay off of the spread. Just take them straight up. But anyway, jumping back into game 4, everything was about even. The field goal percentage 43.7 to 44.6. The 3-point shooting was dead even, 9 for 23 on both sides, 39%. The free throws, I talked about this yesterday, doubled up. The Liberty actually got doubled up by the Minnesota Lynx. I think we see some regression there. They shot 9 free throws versus the Minnesota Lynx the Minnesota Lynx getting 20 free throws. Sandy Brondello called out the refs saying, she just wants the games to be fair. Thought that, a couple of those fouls that Breanna Stewart picked up early weren't warranted. That kind of changed the dynamic of the game. Breanna Stewart didn't play as many minutes, even though I think she still played like 35. And look at Drake May go. Rebounding, still about even. New York was still able to win that. I think the Liberty are the better rebounding team. I think that they defend the 3-point line a little bit better. I think that they foul a little less, 14-9 in the last game, and I do think that they win the game. I talked about this in the standalone video. Liberty on the road, 17-5. I'm sorry, wrong game. Wrong. I'm looking at my notes for game 4. Game 5. I talked about this. Liberty 10-1 straight up after a loss this season. They're 10-0 straight up in their last 10 games. Per Killer Sports database, in game 5s, if you look at the favorite, they're 13-4 straight up, 76.5%. Per Give Me the Dog, home favorites in series game 5, 6-3 straight up, 4-1 straight up, and against the number if they lost game 4. So they typically bounce back in this spot. And Killer Sports also tells me that home teams in game 5s of the WNBA finals are 3-0 straight up. So I'm not sure if those numbers are complete, but I do think that they are accurate. I don't know if that's if that sample size should be that small, but those are the ones that I could pull. And a big reason, I talked about it, a big reason was Stewie and Sabrina just shooting the ball pretty terribly. Stewie shot 5 for 21 from the field, 0 for 4 from the 3-point line. And Sabrina shot just 5 for 15 from the field, 0 for 5 from the 3-point line after hitting the buzzer beater in game 4. So after hitting the buzzer beater in game 3. So all said, they only lost the game by 2 points. I think, and it was on some late free throws. Sabrina, she did foul Bridget Carlton, kind of grabbed her backside and kind of pulled her down while she was attempting to put in that that putback with no time left on the clock. She hit both free throws, and then the game is over. So I know people that like Minnesota. At this point, you just play what it is that you like. I know people like Minnesota because they got a better price. I'm sticking with the Liberty here. I didn't cash out. I didn't hedge my bet at all. I'm sticking with the Liberty to win the game, but staying away from the spread. I do think the Liberty play their best brand of basketball. We got to also remember Minnesota used that home court advantage to their credit. And for Minnesota to win, 2 games so far this season in this series, Minnesota had to have a historic fourth quarter comeback in game number 1, a 4-point play with 18 seconds left where Courtney Williams hits the 3 and gets the free throw to win game 1. And then to win game 2, they also had to have Stewie and Sabrina combined to go 10 for 36. So yeah, I just think I don't think Minnesota's going to go down without a fight, but I do think the New York Liberty are a better team. So yeah, that's the way I chose to think about the game in general. I do think the Liberty could cover this 5.5-point spread also, but if you like Minnesota, go Minnesota for you. As far as the bet, and it is still available, I saw people talking about this in the comment section. Fourth quarter under 39. You can get it. I didn't give it out in the video last night, but fourth quarter under 39 points is -115 on Bet365. I sent it out to the members this morning. That is what I played for the game. So just kind of going through it real quick. Game 1, 39 points in the fourth quarter, was the highest scoring fourth quarter of the series. It was also the first game between the two teams in the playoffs in general, in the actual finals. Game 2 saw only 32 points. Game 3 saw only 34 points in the fourth quarter. And then game 4, which we just saw, only saw 35 points in the fourth quarter. So 3-0-1 to the under from a trend perspective. And it makes sense, right? Outside of just game 5 being a grind, we've seen these teams start off very, very high scoring. The first quarter is 4-0 to the over. I think the Liberty have been over in every first quarter so far in the postseason. I think there's something like 12-0 to the over, or 8-0, or some crazy number like that when they've been at home in the first quarter. Game 5s are a grind, as you guys know. It's very similar in comparison to a game 7 in the NBA. You only got 1 day's rest in this spot versus 2 at the beginning of the series. So I think that lends itself to more of an under. And you just see the Lynx, like they're starting to miss free throws. Some of those shots that typically are you think typically go in, those are the shots that miss a lot. And the same thing for the Liberty. I see Sabrina Ionescu really struggle to score the basketball. Stewie also missing a lot of shots they're tired. They're playing big minutes. Coaches relying heavily on starters. And this will be the 9th matchup between the two teams this season. They know each other, moves, game plan, tendencies, etc. So I do like that a little bit more than anything else. Fourth quarter under 39 pregame, -115 on Bet365 for you guys that are interested. The other thing that really jumped off to me was Liberty first half -3. I talked about this one in the video. Have not put this bet in yet, but that's my secondary play. What I feel like I'll probably end up getting towards. It'll be a smaller bet, but New York 5-1 against the spread as a home favorite in the postseason. They're 2-0 against the spread in this series at home, with both leads being by 18 points in game 1, 10 points in game 2. And I just, like I said, I think Stewie will play better. I think Sabrina will play better. I think, New York in general, they'll probably get a few more foul calls, just being aggressive and assertive at the crib. They only got 4 first half free throws in game 4 versus 10 for the Minnesota Lynx. So I think we see that even out. I like Minnesota. I like Liberty first half here as well, -3. Have not locked that one in yet, though. But those were my thoughts. I talked about those 2 yesterday. So let's jump in, see what you guys are saying about everything that I've said so far. Let's see. G421 says, Brett says, I found you on your Twitter X, which he touts. He did at the top. Okay, nice. I'm glad to hear that. Shout out to my guy, Kyle. Value on the Patriots and the Chiefs, G421 says. Robert says, I like this spread first quarter. I bet it after Liberty first upset loss. Yeah, I also thought about that. I think it's -1.5, Robert. I really want to get to. I don't tend to do well with first quarters, but the Liberty and the bounce back spot have been great in the first quarter. And just to put some numbers to that very, very quickly, let's see. When I looked at first quarter, and granted, you got to take the opponent in consideration. Some people might want to throw these numbers out because it's game 5, and they say anything can happen in the game 5, which I agree with that. But I do think the Liberty coming off a loss at the crib is the right spot. So previously lost for the Liberty this season. I gave out the number. They are 10-1 straight up, 7-4 against the spread. They're 9-2 to the under in this spot as well. Games staying under by average of 9.1 points. And in the first quarter, they have a plus 4.4 margin, 24.4 points to 20.0 in the 11 games that they played. So first quarter for the Libs makes a bunch of sense here, Robin. I agree with that. Over in the Liberty game, Derek says, I don't agree with that, but I'm not playing the total, so I hope you cash it. What up, Chad? He says he likes the Libs first half, first quarter over 39.5. So definitely some agreement there. I like the Libs first half a lot, Chad. I'm glad that you're on it. It makes me feel good about the bet. MB says first quarter also has gone over 39.5 each of the 4 games. I talked about that. What's up, Jeff? Appreciate you for being here this morning. What's good, Sean? Robert says, just can't take full spread. Liberty scared me in the second half. Took first quarter spread with Liberty and halftime and half money line. Okay. I couldn't talk you off. Derek says, Liberty coach begging for foul calls. I hope the refs keep it 100. Yeah. And I don't know if you watched the post game after game 3, but it was Coach Cheryl Reeves that was begging for foul calls, Derek. So they've been going back and forth. Jalen says first quarter over 31.5. I figured this would be a popular bet just because it keeps cashing. I think it is still 39.5, Robin. Brett says liking the New York centric world that is revolving around sports right now. Superstars shine. Yeah. Last night, if you like New York sports, you are a happy fan with the way that the New York Yankees sent off the Cleveland Guardians last night. I did get a chance to see that replay. It's at 40.5 right now, but over every game this series as well. Let's see if I can get you guys a better number. So first quarter total points. Let's see if I can find it real quick for you guys. First quarter total points. 39.5 is still available on DraftKings. Shout out to the sponsor, OddsJam. Always talk to you guys about making sure y'all get the best number. 39.5 is available. Best number on DraftKings, minus 115. Also available on FanDuel, minus 120. There are some 40.5s out there, though. There's a 40 on Caesars as well. So shop around. Make sure you guys are getting the best number, especially in the first quarter where it's high variance. Cuppa Joe says, Liberty up. Stewie owes me. What's good, people? What's up, Cuppa Joe? I'm on the same sentiments with you. Chad says, really wish Sandy would utilize JJ one of these days. Yeah, you and me both, Chad. I mean, that is the mess. That is the mismatch, right? Elena Smith is a good defender. Jocko Jones a better offensive defender. I'll take Jocko Jones' offensive skill set over Elena Smith's defensive skill set, especially with her not being 100%, even though she looked like her normal self pretty much. She had some big shots in game 4. But I'm right there with you, Chad. I talked about liking bounce back for Jocko in last game, and I know a couple people played the prop that got there. She shot 4 for 5 from the 3-point line. She really did her thing. So hopefully she can have another big game as well. And B found it. He said DraftKings, yep, first quarter, 39.5, minus 115. And Chad says a hobbled Elena Smith can't hold JJ when she sets up properly. The way the Lynx are holding down Sabrina Libs need JJ to come through to the in the paint, and not on the 3-point line. And I said this. I said this was a part of the breakdown. I said that it was just gonna be a bounce back spot for her. I really like the bounce back spot for her. It made a ton of sense, and probably should have bet it. I think I had also here just from a break for people that are looking at the. And this should say 156.5, not 156.6. But just for people who wanted to kind of see the box score, I didn't share this, but just kind of see the box score. I think it's the perfect segue into the player prop. I'm thinking, I like Jocko Jones, like Chad said in the chat. But if I'm betting on anything here, it's Stewie. Stewie's the best player in the series, in my opinion, especially with the team effort. Last game from the Minnesota Lynx, like they had all 5 players scoring double digits. You can see it on the box score here. Nafisha Collier only shot the ball 4 for 10 from the 3-point line. She didn't even take the most shots. Kayla McBride had 19 points. So if the Liberty win the game, in my opinion, it's going to be because of Stewie. And I love the shot attempts from Stewie. I talked about this yesterday. If I'm playing a player prop, it's Stewie up and over her 21.5 points in this game. From a player prop, from a trends perspective or just an overall perspective, in my opinion, it's just the volume. I just feel like she's so aggressive and assertive that the only way I would bet Stewie would be up and over. She did have a terrible shooting game. I mentioned she shot just 5 for 21, but mentioned 21 shot attempts in game 4. Before that, 20 shot attempts in game 3. Before that, 21 shots in game 2. In game 1, in game 1, 21 shots, 18 shots in game 2, 20 shots in game 3, and 21 shots in game 4. If I'm gonna get a point per shot, I gotta look at Stewie here. I just feel like it's Stewie's spot not to play better at home. She seemed very confident in herself in the post-game interview as well. She's like, we're gonna get the job done. No, she has the Defensive Player of the Year, Gardner and Nafisha Collier, but yeah, I think it's a big bounce back for Stewie in this spot. That's the only way I'm looking to play player props. I think Stewie's going to be the best player on the floor. I think she's going to be aggressive. I think she's going to be assertive. And as long as she doesn't get in any offensive, any early foul trouble, Stewie goes up and over her 21.5 points, in my opinion here. Let's see. Robert says Stewie over 28.5 points. I don't think I saw 20.5. Let me just double check. Maybe somebody got it earlier. I thought I saw 21.5. Oh, my fault. You're right. Shout out to Robert in the chat. He says he has it at minus 108 at 4 a.m. this morning. Get it before it's juice. More than what it currently is. Minus 114, he says. So you can get a minus 110 right now for Breanna Stewart to go over 20.5 points. I swear I saw 21.5 though. Maybe I'm tripping. I think it might have been 20.5 now that I think about it. No juice at all. Minus 110 over on BetMGM, whereas DraftKings got a 10 cent more juice at minus 120. Caesars also got it at minus 120, but BetMGM has the best number for Breanna Stewart right now. And that'll be WNBA. I think we did a pretty good job there. On the other side, like Courtney Williams, I couldn't talk anybody off for her assists. I wouldn't play the points because I feel like teams are going to struggle to score the basketball. She could be one of the players that struggles to score, but they're still like she'll have the ball in her hands a lot. She'll have to have a big game again as well for them to have a chance in this game. So I'll be looking at her more than anything else. And that's the way I'm liking WNBA for today. So three looks. If I had to play today, depending on what you like, those 3 looks would be. I already played the fourth quarter. I sent that out to the members. For fourth quarter, under 39. New York first half minus the 3. Breanna Stewart over 20.5 points. Best number, BetMGM minus 110. WNBA wrapped up. Last show for the season for WNBA as well. Appreciate everybody for tapping in and following along throughout the WNBA grind this season. We're gonna finish the season profitable, no matter if the Liberty win the day or not. But it'll be nice to put a little cherry on top to go up, a few more units for the WNBA this season. All really small bets, not a lot of 2-unit plays at all outside of the Liberty to win the championship today. So appreciate everybody for tapping in there. Let's go through a couple of more of the comments real quick, and then we'll get into NFL. I'll give you guys 3 looks that I'm looking at for NFL. If you got best bets for NFL, drop them below. Let me know what you guys are betting on today. And as I mentioned, I got the first NBA prop that I'm going to lock in, something that I slept on last night after doing a little deep digging, and I like it a lot. And I'll share that with the members sometime later today for game number 1. Let's see. Chad says for NBA, Knicks plus 5.5, Wolves minus 2, Hornets plus 7, Jazz plus 4.5, Magic plus 2, Nets plus 8. Okay, and then 76ers minus 2.5, Pistons plus 5.5. So he got the looks. Okay, Chad. G421 says, Chris, does Courtney Williams go over her points? I don't know about her points, G421. I think I would just play her assists. So when I was looking into this one a little bit yesterday, which I knew I didn't want to play any player props for the Minnesota Lynx. I don't want to bet on the Lynx to have to do anything good. So if I take the Lynx, I want to take them to do something like turn the ball over or take an under. But when if I'm being honest, Courtney Williams, her assist prop is what stuck out to me. She's gone over in 3 of the Well, I'm sorry. She's gone over. Yeah, she's gone over in 3 out of 4 meetings so far. The line is 6.5. She's gotten to 8 in I think in all 3 games that she's gone over. The only game she stayed under was in game 1. They were coming off 1 day's rest after winning game 5 against the Connecticut Sun. She finished with 5. So I just feel like, I mean, she's the facilitator. She's the head of the snake for this team. You know, no matter how much Fee gives you. Courtney Williams has a good game, they typically win. Even if you go back to the last series against Connecticut Sun, Courtney Williams played well, the Minnesota Lynx win. And she played well in that last game. So, yeah, I couldn't talk you off her assists. I don't really like her points as much, but that's just me. Robin says, NBA soon, can't wait. Dante says, thank you for a great WNBA. Definitely learned a lot and 8. I appreciate that a lot, Dante. Appreciate that. Jeff says, great job on the WNBA this season. Appreciate that. Tank Bigsby, anytime touchdown, about to hit. Robert says, we'll see how that goes. Bitsy says, my best bet is Jordan Love over 248.5 passing yards and the Packers over 23.5 points. He likes the team total, staying away from the spread in that one against the Houston Texans today. Tasha says, if Devontae Johnson is out, I will definitely take the Commanders. The points seem suspicious. I mean, that's a humongous line. I can't tell you the last time. I'm a Commanders fan. Always have been. Always will be. I cannot tell you the last time the Commanders were laying such a big line in life. Because that line has ballooned to... That line has ballooned to 9 now. The last time the Commanders were laying 9 points was October the 15th, 2017. It's been 7 years, almost to the date. 7 years and 5 days since the Commanders have been laying 9 points or more. The last time came against the 49ers. They won the game, did not cover. They've not been profitable in this spot, 12-20 in their existence, dating all the way back to, it looks like 1989, the year I was born. So yeah, this is I know the Commanders I know the Panthers are terrible. I'm not laying 10 points with them though. That's just, it goes against my betting religion. I can't do it. Let's see. Montgomery to score. Lions money line. Kittle touchdown. Cup of Joe says. Busy says, appreciate the WNBA season, Chris. Great insight always. Get some rest. See you in a few days for NBA season, brother. Absolutely, Busy. Absolutely, bro. Let's go over to NFL. So I just put all the lines here for you guys. The first place I'll take you guys for, I'm gonna give out 3 props that I like. I didn't really do too much digging on the sides and the totals this week just because I was in NBA mode. Last week we swept the board though. Hopefully we can do the same again here. First play that I like the most, quarterback prop, is Geno Smith up and over his 36.5 pass attempts here. Makes a ton of sense in my opinion. 5 straight games with at least 34 pass attempts for Geno Smith. You look at this Seattle team, they pass the ball the most in the NFL, amongst any team in general. And the other thing that kind of put the cherry on top, because I talked about this one on Friday when I did the propcast with my guy Munov, it was 35.5 at the time, but I'm cool with the 36.5 because I think this is a game that could be a potential shootout. We've seen Atlanta offense start to kind of hit their stride with Kirk Cousins, playing a lot better over the last few weeks. And I know they're coming off a game against a Carolina defense that's really, really poor, so you expect them to do well. But this Seattle Seahawks defense on the road in Atlanta also, I think, is going to potentially struggle in this spot to get stops as well. So I think this game could turn into a shootout. Cherry on top was Kenneth Walker being downgraded to questionable yesterday with an illness, which means, in my opinion, it's going to be more pass attempts for Geno Smith. Would not, surprise me at all. Like I said, if this game turned to a shootout, we see Geno Smith throw the ball 40 times. So I like Geno Smith over his 35.5 pass attempts here. That's the first one that I like. So Seattle and Atlanta, 1 o'clock start time, high total. I think this is the highest total on the board, 52. I like the over here on Geno Smith over his pass attempts here, 36.5. Next one I'll go to for you guys is David Montgomery under on his rush attempts here. This one probably a little bit controversial because David Montgomery has been playing some really good ball. And I kind of debated this one, whether I wanted to go rushing yards under or rushing attempts under, but I settled on rushing attempts under. The number's 12.5, best number available, is on BetMGM at -110. And I'm always someone that's looking to play on running backs to go under. I love running back unders. Propcast this week, my best bet on Monday Night Football was Alvin Kamara to stay under on his rushing yards. Number was 71.5. I think he got to like 10. And, a lot of it had to do with him being banged up. He had a hand injury. Also, Denver's rushing defense is really, really good. And we're speaking of really good rush defenses. Look no further than this Minnesota Vikings defense. This is the second best run defense in the NFL, right behind the Baltimore Ravens. They've only given up one running back. They've only given up 13 rush attempts once this season. Of the 14 running backs that they faced so far, that second string, third string, of course, as well. But teams don't run the ball, for a long time against this Minnesota Vikings front seven. I know they have like one questionable guy. I think it's a linebacker that's on the injury report right now. And they may be down one other defensive player as well, but I can't remember exactly who it is. I did check it out this morning, just didn't write it down. But outside of Jordan Mason, who ran the ball 13 times, I think 19 times, 20 times in week 2, every other running back is going under this 12.5 rushing attempts. Montgomery's snap count has dipped a little bit with Jahmyr Gibbs kind of looking pretty good over the past few weeks as well. And I mentioned Minnesota's run defense. It's been elite against the run so far this season. And just to put some numbers to that, Minnesota is allowing the fewest rush attempts in the NFL, just 18.6 per game. They're giving up the second fewest rushing yards per attempt, 3.6 yards per carry. And rushing yards per game, 67.2, second best in the NFL. I know that this Detroit Lions offensive line is probably the best in football, but I think Minnesota at the crib, divisional game, I like Minnesota. I do think that this turns more into a shootout, and it's more of a Jared Goff game versus a running back game for this Detroit Lions team. So I flirted with taking Jahmyr Gibbs under his rushing attempts as well, because I just don't think either one of these running backs are going to get there. So I like the under on David Montgomery. Also, the other thing is Minnesota has gotten off to a strong start in every single game. This is the only team I think that's undefeated against the spread in the first half. Teams have been playing catch up behind this Minnesota Lynx team. This Minnesota Vikings team in every single week so far this season. And they've had a nice lead at halftime every single week. So yeah, I like who was that? Thomas Jr.? Okay, Brian Thomas Jr. touchdown. I like David Montgomery under his 12.5 attempts here. Last player prop I'll give you guys is also 1 o'clock start time. And that's Philly and Giants. We'll go to that game. Philly laying 3 points on the road. Total sitting at 42.5. I like AJ Brown here. Longest reception, up and over 24.5 yards. Best number available is -110 over on ESPN Bet. AJ Brown has only played 2 games this season for the Philadelphia Eagles. Game 1 of the regular season was in Brazil against the Green Bay Packers. He had a 67-yard reception in that game. And then game 2 was last week against the Cleveland Browns. He had a 40-yard reception. We know that he's the big play wide receiver for the Philadelphia Eagles. He takes the top off the defense and has a very, very good chemistry with what's the quarterback name? Why am I drawing a blank? Jalen Hurts. So I like AJ Brown in this spot for those reasons. Like I said, he can take the top off the defense. Also, this is something that I talked about last week. I don't know if people remember, but last week I talked about playing on Jahmyr Chase. On Chase. I think his longest reception was 24.5 yards as well, 25.5, something like that. He had a 33-yard reception, so we cashed that one. T. Higgins also had a 24-yard reception last week. 2 weeks ago was Tyler Lockett. He had a 33-yard reception. 3 weeks ago was CeeDee Lamb. He had a 55-yard reception. 4 weeks ago was Amari Cooper. He had a 24-yard reception with a Deshaun Washington at quarterback. Naomi Brown for my Commanders also had a 34-yard reception in week 2. Austin Eckler had a 27-yard reception in week 2. All of those came against this Giants defense. So they're giving up big plays. And the big play guy for the Philadelphia Eagles is A.J. Brown. So I like his longest reception over 24.5 yards. Just kind of gave you guys the numbers and the breakdown for that. So those are the 3 best, my 3 best player props for week number 7. I'll go through the comments real quick. and put all the plays up on the board. And then I'm gonna actually get up out of here. I got some other things I need to get done today before these games start. Let's go through and see what you guys are thinking. Robert says he's telling you, Bitsy. Packers over. He said was thinking of taking it. That's what we do. We cap the games together, give out the looks that we like the most. Okay. My guy Justin says Xavier Worthy over 44.5 receiving yards today. Plus 128 top play. I hope he go crazy today. I got him on my fantasy team, Justin. So yeah, I could not talk you off Xavier Worthy here today. San Francisco defense. Okay. Let's see. What up, Prestigious Prodigy? Appreciate you for tapping in, bro. As always. Justin says he likes the Geno look. He says he's taking this over 269.5 passing yards here. Dante says leaning Geno passing props, no Kenneth Walker, lean Atlanta money line as well. Dante says that David Montgomery touchdown went from minus 120 to minus 188. Nasty work. Got to get in early. What's up, Big Marv? Justin likes Amon-Ra St. Brown in that game. Thinks he gets 80 receiving yards, plus 104. I love the plus prices that you get, Justin. If you're gonna bet NFL, might as well get the plus prices for sure. GLB bets like Jamar Chase and Debo touchdowns put together. Okay. What up, JT? Been a while since you've been in the chat. Appreciate you for jumping in, talking some sports with us today. He says he likes Justin Jefferson over 93.5 receiving yards here at minus 120. Okay. He also likes Saquon Barkley under 84.5 rushing yards. Okay. Back at the crib. MetLife Stadium, Saquon. I was thinking Saquon. I saw his anytime touchdown at minus 160. I want to say best odds was on DraftKings. Him to score twice, I think, was minus one. Him to score twice was minus. Was plus 340. I think best number you could get for Saquon against his old team. I think he kind of shows out today, man. We'll see how it goes. I know the Giants defense has been playing pretty good football. It wasn't the reason why they lost the game last week against Cincinnati. The offense just couldn't score the football, and they had a couple big plays brought back as well on some small infractions that ended up being penalties that took away the big plays. Jordan Mason under his 60.5 rushing yards. Talk with JT says. Okay, makes a ton of sense. This is what Tashi was saying in the chat. If you look at the 49ers, not the 49ers, I'm sorry. If you look at Kansas City run defense, it's been good, man. Just to put some numbers behind Kansas City run defense, they are giving up the 7th fewest rushing attempts per game, just 23.6. The 4th fewest rushing yards per attempt, 3.7, and the 5th fewest rushing yards per game, 88.4, are the Kansas City 49ers defense. And if I want to go advanced numbers, Kansas City rush defense, they are number 8 in opponents rush EPA, minus 0.16. In opponents rushing success, they are number 9, 0.37. So yeah, this is a really strong Kansas. I mean, Steve Spagnuolo's run defense has always been pretty good, but they've been pretty elite this year so far as well. So I could not talk you off of that at all. Let's see real quick. Kansas City. Let's just look at. I want to see running backs real quick. Past couple weeks against this defense. Last week it was Alvin Kamara, 11 attempts for 26 yards. The week before that, it was J.K. Dobbins, 14 carries for 32 yards, only averaged 2.9 yards per carry. Alvin Kamara, 2.36 yards per carry. The week before that, it was Tyler Algier and Bijan Robinson. Neither one of them got over 32 yards rushing. And week before that, it was week 2, was Zach Moss and Chase Brown. Neither one of them got to 35 yards either. Both of them had 34 and 31. And then week 1 against the Ravens, they did a really good job of bottling up Derrick Henry, 13 carries for 46 yards in that game as well. And Justice Hill only had 1 carry for 3 yards. So I could not talk you off. I think that's a very solid look Jordan Mason under his 60.5 rushing yards here, JT. I might end up getting there with you on that as well. I like this. I knew San Francisco run defense has been good, but this was a game that I really didn't dive too deep into. Justin says Giants double number 1. I'm on Devontae Smith. Over 64.5 receiving yards. Okay. Dante says usually don't tease, but couldn't pass up on taking a few tickets with the Chiefs plus 7.5. The Chiefs as an underdog is crazy to me. I'm never betting on the Chiefs as a dog. That's just, I mean, most people probably know the trends, but just real quick, if you look at the Chiefs as a dog, they've been super profitable, 7-2 straight up and against the number since the start of the 2020 season. Last time the Chiefs lost as a dog was against the Bills, 20-24 back on October 16th, 2022. They beat the Eagles since then. They were getting won the game by 3. They beat the Chargers since then. They were getting 3.5, won the game by 1. They beat the Bills since then. They were getting 2.5, won the game by 3. And this was in the playoffs. They beat the Ravens. We're getting 4.5, won the game by 7. And they beat the 49ers, of course, in the Super Bowl. We're getting 2 in that spot, won the game by 3. It's just not something I'm willing to do. If Patrick Mahomes is back there, I'm taking the Chiefs every time. I don't care who they're playing against. Mahomes and Purdy to throw an interception parlay at plus 255 in Justin's pocket. Okay. And Tasha says what I said. Never get betting against Patrick Mahomes. Yeah, I think I'll probably stay up the side. I like the look by JT a lot, though. I do like this look right here, Jordan Mason, under 60.5 rushing yards. Real quick, let me just double check it since I like it so much. Let's see where I can get the best number at real quick. See if I can find a number that's slightly higher than the 60.5 rushing yards here. Let's see. Rushing yards. All right, so best number right now. Just go by game. KC. $61.5 right now. Best number. Minus 115 on BetMGM. Jordan Mason under 61.5 rushing yards. I like it. I like it. Not gonna lie to you guys. I like that a lot. Probably gonna end up tailing you on this one, JT. Appreciate you for dropping that off in the chat, man. G421 says Mahomes will see this line and see it as an insult. Chiefs money line all day. Yeah, that's the only way I would bet it as well, man. Appreciate everybody for tapping in. Let's get up out of here. Do a quick recap and get up out of here. So top plays for myself. I have not bet the Liberty first half minus the 3. But really want to get there. I also want to play first quarter as well. I think minus 1.5 are available. Minus 2s out there as well. Brianna Stewart, my favorite player prop. Have not put $1 on that as well. 20.5 points for her. Like it a lot. I did bet that first quarter. Fourth quarter under 39 points though. We just really don't need it to be a free throw fest at the end, and I don't think it will be. So we'll see how that goes. Favorite 3 NFL bets. You guys can see them on the right hand side. Geno up and over. Pass attempts, David Montgomery under, rush attempts, AJ Brown longest reception over 24.5 yards. And I love the look by JT as well. Jordan Mason. I love fading running backs against good defenses, man. This is one of my favorite things to do because it's a pass happy league, right? Like, so the run is the first thing to get abandoned, especially if games end up being a shootout. So these are the looks that I like, man. Check out these resources if you guys are interested. Use the referral codes that are in the description of the video. CBC get you 20% off of OddsJam for your first month. 50% off of Moneyballer as well. ChrisBeCappinn 2 P's 2 N's. You'll definitely love Moneyballer if you guys haven't had a chance to check it out. So definitely check those out. You can cancel at any time. Also shoot me a DM on Twitter at ChrisBeCappinn 2 P's 2 N's if you guys have questions about any of the resources as well. And that'll be the show for today, man. If you're still watching, as I always say, do me a favor, hit that thumbs up button. 50-minute show in the books. Subscribe to the channel if you guys are new. Turn those notification bells on. We continue to cash. NBA season right around the corner. I'm super excited for the NBA season, man. I'll catch you guys in the next one. Enjoy the rest of your Sundays, man. I'm out.